Welcome back to our next one. We are now going to be looking at our NPC and having a dialogue with the NPC. Let's jump right into Unity and start creating some stuff. Under the sprites, I have, if I can find sprites, I have this character here. She will be our NPC. Find her facing down, which I'm going to guess is 7 as well. And drag her up there. And just like the other character, I'm going to set her sprite renderer to 10 and make sure that her sort mode is at pivot. I'm not going to give her a collider. Yes, I could give her a collider that you can't bump into her, but I don't want to do that. So there she is. And she does need a trigger collider on her. So I'm going to add let's do polygon collider because I want that you're going to be able to talk to her when you're standing in front of her. So when I get in front of her, this area is where I want to talk to her. That's good enough for me. Do that, do that, do that. Good. Trigger. Okay. Once I step in front of her, I need to know that she is an NPC that I can chat with. So I'm going to need some sort of indicator above her head. To do that, I'm going to grab myself a canvas, and I'm going to call it A4. This is my indicator, and there's different ways that I can actually render this. On screen space and overlay, screen space to a specific camera or world space. I want this to now enter the space of the world, and I am going to zero everything out because it's child to her, and my canvas is now tiny, which I can put above her head. That's good enough. All right. Now I'm going to add to that canvas about an image. Let's add an image. And the image is going to be 0, 0. Sorry, not 0, 0, 1, 1. Why is the image not showing up? Oh, my indicator, because it's now part of the world, it's no longer rendering above everything like a canvas normally would. So I want it to render above everything, and I don't want to have to guess what order and layer to use. So instead, I'm just going to say, instead of default sorting layer, I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to call it NPC indicator. Okay. If I go back here, I can now select NPC indicator, and that's going to render above everything. Okay, on the image, let's add text mesh pro. I don't care about the name of it, but it is going to be an exclamation mark. And it's going to be black. It's going to be centered. And it's going to be tiny. Make it bold. There we go. We've now got a little indicator that's going to pop up. I could have done that with a normal game object, but I don't know. I always do it with the canvas. Gives me more freedom, I guess, with the canvas. There's our indicator, and initially, I'm just going to turn it off. All right. Our NPC. She's going to need, and I know I created it, an NPC script. Let's jump right into that script. All right, some of the things she needs. First is that indicator. So public, and she's going to have the public make a game object indicator. She also needs to have on her the scriptable object that we created. So that's not gonna work. And I'm just gonna call it dialogue. So when we interact with her, whatever dialogue's on her is a dialogue that's going to run. We need an on trigger enter 2D. We also, so I'm also going to put this as if the collision happens with the player. Okay, now that I've got all that set up, I'm just going to take all of this, paste it, switch this out for exit, and in here, I want the indicator set active true. The indicator set active false. So when you walk in and when you walk out, it turns on and turns off the indicator. In update, I want to know if the player wants to chat. Let's use spacebar as the example for that. So I'm going to say if input dot get key up key code dot space. I'm also want to check to see if the indicator is on. Ooh, why did I do that? Why did that happen? Okay. I want to check to see, oh, wait. No. I want to check to see if the indicator is on. So, and let's just say if indicator dot active self, I'll put up one line easily. So if the indicator is on, it means I should be able to chat with them, and I can hit spacebar to open the chat, which I'll get to in a little while. Right now, let's start with a dialogue. So once we have our something open, we need to create something that can be open. Let's open our dialog SO, and once again, just like we did before, in fact, so much alike that I'm just going to copy all of that. I'm just going to be lazy. And this is going to be dialog, new dialog. And all right, so this is going to be a list of two people talking. I need to know what one person is saying, and I want to set that up as a new kind of variable. System dot, so I'm going to do a new class here. Serializable public class persons dialog. No. There we go. Okay, let's do, I don't need the person's name. Public, I have profile pictures. So I want a sprite, and I'm going to say profile picture. All right, that's good. I want also a public, before I do that, area, text area, and area 310, and now a public string, and let's call it dialog text. Good. And so this is going to be a list of that stuff. So this is a public list of person's dialog, and we're going to call it dialog. Let's call it dialog list. Is that right? Yeah, dialog list. Come on. and then put that in. Save. So that's the only thing that really is going to be on this dialog. Okay, now we can start looking at creating the actual interface that will run the dialog. Let's create a new canvas. So UI and canvas. Dialog canvas. Once again, we'll set this up as 1920 by 1080. And that should be good. All right, let's add some stuff. We want a panel, which I do not want the background. I want none. Let's make it dark, but let's not make it fully. I still want to kind of see the background a bit. Okay, on this panel at the bottom, we're going to create an image here. Let's go about that wide, and let's stick it on the bottom and raise it up a bit. Okay, this is going to be the background where the dialogues can be put in. Let's put it at put it like that, and let's put some text in there. UI Text Mesh Pro. Let's maximize it, and then bring it in. And let's see, make it a bit bigger, make it bold. And that should all be good. Okay, also on this image, I'm now going to place a UI button. And this is going to be our next button. So if the dialog has multiple things, we want next, 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 and so on. Why am I not getting it to snap? Try that. Try that. 0, 0, no. That, and that, and that. Anchors, pivot, 0, 0. If I say 0, 0, okay. And then, so X, 1, 0. There we go. All right. Text. And it's just basically going to be 3 dots. That's it. 3 big dots. And so big that they go off. There we go. And now I need to use the advanced settings to bring them back up. There we go. Good enough. And I'll call this more. And I'll duplicate it. And I'll call this exit. Hide more. And exit is going to be different. Exit again is just an X. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. And the exit is an X. Make it smaller. And make it white. Make this red. And there's our exit button. So we can exit out of our chat whenever we need to, or exit out when we're finished. And the next thing we're needing is the profile image. So UI image, and she's going to be up on the top corner over here. That's where our pivot Y is 0. And let's find an image just as a tester. So that's a good size there. She's pixel art, so I should set her as 0.9. Perfect. Good. Do we have everything I need now? So it works with her. Does it work with her as well? Oops. Where is she? Image. Works with her as well. Okay, good. Now I need to start being able to link these things together inside of the panel. So I have, did I create that script yet? I did not. Let us create a C# script. Dialog panel. Yes. Minimize. Yes. Compile. All right. And panel. We're going to add panel. Here's our dialog panel. Good. Now we can start creating our script. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of this for now. So when we set up the script, I'm going to need to bring in the dialog that we're using. I'm going to bring in dialog. And further down here, further down here, I'm going to say public void setup. And setup is going to take in dialog XO, dialog, there, save that. Oh, there's something else I'm going to need. I forgot about this. We have this public list of all this, but when we finish the conversation, I want to be able to have this option. Public dialog SO next dialog. So when it's finished, the dialog is going to switch to something different. All right. Or you can even in here in a dialogue, you can create a bunch of random things for someone to say. It's up to you. All right, so let's say that we've got our setup is going to do that. I need a public void, no, not public, this one, void fill dialog. We're going to be bringing that list in that's in the dialog, and we need to step through it. So I'm going to need an int called dialog step and set it at 0 as the default. I need a place to put it, which is going to be the text mesh pro. So I need using TMP, and then down here, public TMP text. Let's just call it dialog text. I need an update. We'll see why later. I also need a public void click more. And of course, I'll need a public void click exit. And I need references to the more and exit buttons. So public, that's just a game object reference, more button. Exit button. Oops. All right. What else do I need? I need access to the image. So public image profile picture. And I think that's all I need for now to link everything together. So our fill dialog, it's going to go and grab the dialog that we have here. And this is going to be run in our setup. So when we set up, we're going to fill the dialog with some stuff. And that will be, the text is going to be the dialog text dot text going to be equal to, and I want to get from that dialog a dialog has a list, dialog list, and I want to get the first step and display that. I want to get that, and I want to get the dialog text. Good. Next is, and I probably just copy, paste, paste. I don't want that. I want the picture is going to be updated. So the picture sprite is going to be the profile picture. Okay. No, I don't want that yet. Once I have that set up, I'm going to say that the step plus plus, I'm advancing it. And now once I've advanced it, I want to check if this, so if the step is equal to that dot count. So have I gone past, so let's say I have one thing, then step is 0, and when I go up one step, I'm not 1, and that equals the count, which means I'm at the end. If I had two things, then I would have 0 and 1. Dialog step will go through 0, 1, and then it'll step to 2. But this is what I want to do, is when it does do that, I'm going to I don't want to use an if. Set active false. Okay. By default, I'm going to put that to true. are. I'm going to put that in the setup, but it does it once, not every single time. It's only going to change these things here. The exit should already be off, but let's just make sure we copy them. I don't need that because that should already be off. And that should already be on. It's only when we get to this point that I'm going to switch them around and say false, true, save. And then if I click more, I should fill dialog. If I click exit, then I should destroy. No, I want to destroy the game object. Okay, I'm going to be adding something else to that though. Let's say that we have, and if I click on spacebar is going to advance me through it. So I'm going to say that the if input dot wikia people dot space and I'm going to ask again if the more button, if the more button is visible, if more button the active self, then I'm going to run fill dialog. All right, I'm just going to, it's simulating click more. So why not? Click more, which runs fill dialog. I'm not sure. Maybe more efficient just to run fill dialog. And then return. Because after that if, I'm just going to say click exit. Because if the more button's not on, then the exit button has to be on. So the spacebar will exit. All right. Now I'm needing some other stuff here. Public NPC. Let's call it NPC talking. I need to know which NPC is talking. So I need to pass that in as well. NPC underscore NPC talking. And then let's do the same thing. NPC. Yeah. Okay. This there. So when I'm exiting, the NPC talking, if dialog dot next dialog is not equal to null. So if there is a next, then I need to swap out the dialogues. So NPC talking dot dialog is going to be equal to the dialog dot next dialog. And that swaps out my dialogues and then destroys the game object. All right. We have our dialog panel is coded. I just need to link some stuff up now. There's our lovely panel, and we need the text. text is here. I need the more button. More button is here. I need the exit button. Exit button is here. The profile picture is this image. And NPC talking, that gets filled in, and that gets filled in. All right. We have everything we need. I need to set this up as default of more is on, exit is off. And now I can take this as a prefab and delete it. Once again, we can put that prefab on the player manager. So on the player manager, public, I'm not going to call it a game object. I'm just going to call it, because I need to do the setup. So I'm going to call it dialog panel, dialog panel prefab. All right. Because when I am on the NPC, here we go. When I click space, I wanted to find out if the indicator was active. I also want to find out if the dialog already exists. So if find objects of type dialog panel is equal to null, but there's nothing there, then we can do something. And I want to do an instantiate, and we're going to find out the player manager, dialog prefab, and then I want to run the setup on it. And the setup I have to pass in, it's going to be, first thing is the dialog, and the second thing is this, referring to the NPC script. That should be it. All I need to do is go to the player manager now and stick that. There it is. And dialog canvas, stick that in there. That's my prefab. Now I want to go to resources, dialogs, right click, create RPG dialog. New dialog, I'm going to call it Red Hat Welcome. And we create another one, dialog, Red Hat move along. Do I have a space in there? No, the spaces don't matter. Red Hat move. Red Hat move along. Okay. Let's go to our sprites. Because I want to create dialog list and 1, 2, 3. These 3 things. First, I want her. Then Saffron replies, and then she says something at the end, and so she's going to say, welcome to the game. And then she's going to say, thank you. It looks like a nice game. And then she's going to say, move along to the north. Good. So once she's done that, oh, shoot, I did in the wrong one. I'll just rename them. So I'll call this move north. And then this is the welcome. So this one is only going to be her saying one thing. And it's going to be, let's get her picture. And she just says, move along to the north. All right. This is just going to loop. There's no next dialogue. That's just going to loop. The first one, though, the welcome, is going to take the move along as the next dialogue. Save this and let us now play it. So there she is. Did I link anything on her? I did not. So she needs an indicator. There's an indicator. She needs a dialogue. That's the welcome dialogue. And that's what's going to get swapped out when I finish this dialogue. And let's hit play and see what happens. So I push in to walk close. So the indicator turns on and off. Very good. All right, if I hit spacebar, that opens. Welcome to the game. I hit spacebar again. Thank you. It looks like a nice game. I hit spacebar again. Move along to the north, and I got my close button, and I've got an error. What's the error? Object reference not set to instance of an object. The NPC talking. Look at that. So this might be it. There was something else I also wanted to do. So I just want to go back to the prefab. I forgot to do something. Project, prefab, dialog canvas. I forgot to link the two buttons. So the two buttons here get from this. More. There, save. Oh, no, you don't do that. Okay, so let's track this and see what happened. Play. Because it worked fine up until the last part. Something to do with the NPC. So I did that. No errors. Here's the dialog canvas, and NPC talking is empty for some reason. Dialog panel. When I do the setup, I take in NPC talking. Oh, here, that's it. Save. Simple fix. It was putting it into a brand new variable called NPC rather than putting it into NPC talking. And somebody probably saw that when I typed that line out, and I know you screamed. I do it when I'm looking at some other people doing tutorials. I'm always like, no, go back, go back. And they go back finally. But it grates on my nerves. So I know it's going to grate on your nerves. All right. Now, we should have this. 2, 3, exit. Perfect. And if I go back to her, move along to the north. Move along to the north. So it works perfectly. All right. We have a working dialogue system. Now, just like our potions, when I leave the scene and I come back to the scene, she is going to be saying what she says as default. I might want her, when I come back, that she only says what was the last thing she was saying, which is move along to the north. That is why we're going to be needing the last segment, our scene save. So this is where we're going to combine both the item and the NPC's dialogues to save those states so that when I go from scene to scene, it should be fine. Also included in that, because we're going to need it, is a scene changer script, which I've got the script in there, which when I change from scene to scene, so right now, she by default is in the center of this screen. If I put her in the center of the screen of scene two, let's just take a look at that. So I did create a scene two, scripts, scenes, scene two. Is that scene two? Yeah, scene two. So let's drag up. Oh, the player is pretty much finished, I think. Let's go, sorry, go back to scene one. And the player is finished, so I can actually just make a prefab of the player. And let's go to our scenes, scene two, save, and prefabs, and let's draw our player in. So when she comes in, I want her to come in down here. I don't want her to come in at the top where she is as default. What if there were two different, so I could put her at the bottom as default. I can say, you're down here. That's where she enters. But what if there were multiple ways to enter the scene? I need to have a system that's going to allow me to enter the scenes in specific areas. And for that, I'm going to be using either the game manager. No, I'll probably put it in the player manager again. So the player manager will know from the last scene where in this scene I'm coming into. All right, that is it. I am done for this one. As I said, we've finished our NPC dialogue, and it is the scene save for the next one.